So, I just thought I'd rant a little bit as I'm here waiting for the doc. Because there's a match that we're probably never going to get. And that is Roman Reigns versus The Rock. The match that never happened. I don't see this match happening anymore. Can it still happen at some point? I guess, but I that's it. I think it's all over. Especially what The Rock did, being the final boss and then just stepping away, just completely annihilating one of the biggest storylines in wrestling history. Good gosh, man. I mean, he just single-handedly just like destroyed something that could have been great. And in the midst of all that, what kind of got lost is this big mega match that so many people, myself included. Now, I know there were some people that were just kind of poo-pooing on this. That were like, I don't want to see that. That's stupid. That's a horrible match. That's fine. Then I'm not talking to you. But there was a big slice of wrestling fans that were just waiting for this. The Rock versus Roman Reigns, right? Could have been for the Ulafala, the freaking whatever it may be, to run the bloodline. Well, all that's gone. All that's done. All that hype, it's done. And look, I blame the WWE in all of this. I'm not just blaming The Rock in it, because you know what? Going back, why did you have Cody Rhodes win that Royal Rumble so he could go off and face Roman Reigns when you're going to do this whole stupid thing of like, oh, I will get my match, but not at WrestleMania. Then just to switch it around, because social media blew up of us like, wait a second, why are you taking away from Cody? It was like the whole thing was just terribly done. The whole mess of like, oh, you know what? Instead, he's going to face The Rock at WrestleMania. Oh, wait, social media has blown up because it's like, why are you taking that away from Cody when you shouldn't have given it to Cody to begin with? Because the storyline was there for The Rock versus Roman, but you guys screwed that all up by having Cody win the Royal Rumble. Now you have to do something with that. Now you put yourself in this bad position, and now we're here, fast forward to where we're at. And now it's like, it's all gone. It's been all gone. And having this final boss still some way, somehow in the mix, I was still thinking like, okay, there's still a chance. There's still a chance. Yes, we're over a year removed from when all that was supposed to take place. I'm like, okay, there's still a chance because The Rock is still some way, somehow involved. But now that he stepped away, it looks like he's gone, man. And with that, it's like, I don't know how old The Rock is, but he's not a young dude. He's not a young dude. But even with that being said, the storyline, like the hype behind it, is not there anymore. So if you're going to have Roman versus The Rock at some point, you're going to have to rebuild everything. You just can't have The Rock just come in, interfere in one of Roman's matches and say like, all right, now we're going to do it. No, I guess you can still do that to a certain degree, but it'll be a cheap version as opposed to what was once upon a time. When Roman, pushing rewind and where Roman was at, his status, right? The tribal chief. The whole thing of, The Rock talking about Hey, where should The Rock sit? Should he, sit at the booth? Should he sit at the bar? Or should The Rock sit at the head of the table? Like, whoa, wow, man, that was mind-blowing, Holmes, right? Like, damn, heck yeah. And what did you do with that? Instead, you go and you have Cody win the Royal Rumble, throwing a huge monkey wrench in that motor. Now you're in Damage Control. Now you fast forward a year. You got The Rock, who's a heel now, because at that time, it looked like he was going to be the babyface taking down Roman Reigns, who was completely out of control, right, with his power, which would have been a great storyline and a big match. Now fast forward to the following WrestleMania. Now it's like, hey, now The Rock's a heel. Now he's the final boss. It was just ridiculous, man. And now The Rock's off. Now The Rock isn't even around anymore. Does he come back? I don't know, dog. And in reality, after what he did to the John Cena heel turn, I don't even really care if he comes back. But I just want to go ahead and rant on that a little bit, because this was, and he had said it. He had said it himself. Could have been one of the biggest matches, if not the biggest match in wrestling history. Now, there's arguments to be made on that. I get it. To sit here and think about it now, it's very simple to say, nah, it would have been anywhere near the biggest match in wrestling history. You're right. Here, now, I understand that. But if you rewind time a little bit and you go back to how big Roman Reigns' character was as the tribal chief, and The Rock, where they were, the storylines where they were at that time, I think you could make an argument that, yeah, maybe it could have been. I'm not saying it would have been, but maybe it could have been. Now, difference between big match and best match. Would it have been a great match as in-ring performance? No, none of these guys are great in-ring performers. But as far as big, the magnitude of the match, yeah. And guess what? We'll never see it, and we'll never know, because it's never going to happen. Total Trucker Wrestling Rehab. Shouts to all the junkies. Catch you guys on next one.